So 1-1 it finishes. Just taking a look at the stats with this one, Juve equalising with pretty much their first chance, very late stages of this game, ends in a draw, and now takes it to the second leg to decide who will be going through to the final from this, as we now welcome in Luis Garcia and Gabriella Marcotti. But let me first start with you, Stevie, because let's just say it wasn't the best display from Juve. We kind of had the show ready in our heads when we saw Sevilla score early in a competition that they always do so well in, and then Juve just ripped up the script for everybody with a equaliser very late on there.
Well, the thing is, you started by saying it wasn't a great performance from Juve. We've been saying this for how long? I mean, when was the last time they actually gave us a performance? I mean, they're just... Everything they seem to do is just bits. There's bits of good play and there's bits of excellence. There's never any sort of stretch or any connection or any fast, free-flowing football. I mean, those words in Juventus right now, well, certainly in the recent past, just don't go together. But you know what? They did a Juve thing at the end. They somehow got themselves a goal and they're back in it big time.
But to your point, Stevie, during the course of this one, I'm not sure that there were that many bits of Juventus to even claim that were that good. I mean, they really were. It was a poor showing from Juventus. In a game at home, I expected so much more from. Vlahovic had a couple of opportunities in the first half, but managed to drift outside for both of those, so they didn't really count. And then they huffed and puffed in the second half. I thought Sevilla were by far the better team, especially in the first half. A little bit more even in the second. But I do not remember Bono making a save. Do not remember him being called into action, if you want to say called into action, right at the very death. Nothing he could do about it. But that was as good as we saw from Juventus at the very last breath of this game. And I have to say, I'm both surprised and disappointed in Juventus. And you could probably say, well, the exact opposite for a Sevilla team that have had their issues in La Liga. But somehow, come the Europa League, Sevilla just look at a different animal altogether.
But Gab, you think Juve were unlucky and they deserved that penalty that wasn't given?
I mean, I think the penalty could have been given, probably should have been given. So if you want to say they're unlucky on the balance of that incident and the late goal.
Rabiot's leg comes across and gets caught with his foot. But that's not on the defender, that's on Rabiot.
Okay, Steve, that means that if I go with my studs high and I touch a ball and I smash the face of a player, it's not going to be a penalty. It depends on if he's bleeding or not. I think it's a very dangerous charge.
Well, you're saying he's gone with a high boot. He hasn't gone with a high boot. He's lifted his foot off the ground. It's not that far off the ground. He's got to clear the ball. What is he supposed to do? Also, now you can only use your laces now. So you're not actually allowed to lift your foot and clear the ball.
Definitely you cannot use your studs. Definitely you cannot use your studs or hit someone else into the box with the studs.
Totally. 100% disagree. Rabiot gets caught because he's late. Not because the defender kicks him. He's late and catches it because of his action, not because of the defender's action.
I agree to this.
His leg is extended, okay, but in terms of height off the ground, it's not that high at all, not dangerously so.
And he side foots it.
And he wins the ball
as well.
And he wins the ball. I'm with the defenders on this one.
OK, it's a split decision. Let's talk about Sevilla, though, Luis, because obviously it's not been the best of seasons for them. Can they look at this in a positive, given that they've gone away from home and got a draw here?
Yes, of course. I think they proved that they are a very solid team once again. I think that Mendilibar brought something different. They finally see a strong team, solid, back to the basics, being very well organized, built up with Rakitic in the middle. I think today it was magnificent. And the city, to try to bring the ball to him, is always dangerous. He has been scoring so many goals lately. And I think that the difference was Campos. I think he was the best player on the field in the first 45 minutes, but got injured in the first half, and it was very difficult to replace him in the second half, where Juventus was going to go against you. So you have not that player who can go up and down, who can bring that intensity on that right side, because now it's totally different. And of course, you knew that Juventus will go to try to get that equalizer away. But I think that Mendilibar proved that this Sevilla can final and let's see what happens, because if you travel to, it's very difficult to get from there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.